Welcome to Patscast. I'm Brad Whitaker. While we were all watching the College Football National Championship game last night, a bombshell report from Jeff Howe of The Athletic broke regarding Bill Belichick and his future with the New England Patriots. As of this recording, Belichick is still the head coach and GM of the team, and he had met with Robert Kraft on Monday for what was described as an initial meeting, and there will be ensuing meetings going forward. And Robert Kraft is keeping an open mind about keeping Bill. Basically, Bill has to give a presentation to Kraft about the future of the team before Kraft makes a decision on whether Bill will return. And Jeff Howe lays it out here saying, Belichick will need to lay out a firm plan to dramatically improve the on-the-field product after the Patriots' worst record of Kraft's ownership. Part of that plan may include a reunion with former Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels, who is considered a candidate to return, sources close to the situation said. And immediately when I read this report, I started feeling nostalgic and excited. Well, we're going back to the good old days, right? We're going to have Josh McDaniels back. We saw what he did with Mac Jones, and we saw what he did with Brady over the years. Let's just bring McDaniels back. We'll have Belichick out there, and suddenly they'll be a playoff team again, and maybe even a contender, right? And I slept on it a little bit. Woke up this morning and realized, what are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, either you move forward with Bill or you don't, okay? This sort of half-measure stuff is not going to work. And we heard 8 weeks ago that the Patriots were going to move on from Bill. They had made up their minds after the Colts game in Germany. And now here we are, entertaining the possibility about Belichick returning and Josh McDaniels returning. And who else is going to return? Maybe we can get Dante Scarnecchia right now. Maybe we can pull his AARP card and bring him back out there. It's kind of like your ex coming over and saying, "Hell, things are going to be different. Things are going to change. Remember Paris? We'll always have Paris." Then you go to Paris, and they're vandalizing the Mona Lisa. It's not going to be the same. This isn't going to be Owen Wilson and Marion Cotillard walking in the rain romantically at night. Midnight in Paris. It's not safe. They're going to get mugged. Look, there's nothing I want more, right, than Bill Belichick walks into Robert Kraft and Tom Brady sitting there with Jules and Gronk and Josh McDaniels and Dante Scarnecchia. And they say, "Hey, Bill, let's bring the band back together one more time. Let's do this again." That's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to work out. I want it to work out. I want to go back to the days of Super Bowls and contending and being in the AFC Championship game every year. But to paraphrase Rick Pitino, Tom Brady is not walking through that door. Rodney Harrison is not walking through that door. Rob Gronkowski is not walking through that door. Mike Vrabel is not walking through that door. Actually, Mike Vrabel might be walking through that door. But maybe that's a mistake too. All right, we want Vrabel. Oh, Vrabel's going to replace Belichick. Well, they won 5 games this year in Tennessee. They won one more game than the Patriots. You saw his press conference last week, Vrabel. Cursing every other word. He's just a younger, grumpy Belichick. Either you keep Bill or you don't, okay? Either you keep Bill and you move forward, or you do a hard reset. I get the Josh McDaniels nostalgia. I get it. It worked with Mac Jones, right? Maybe we can bring Mac Jones back out there with Josh McDaniels and it'll work. Or maybe, just maybe, there is merit to what happened in Vegas when his players essentially stage a mutiny on him. Maybe he's not destined there. There are also rumors in this report saying, well, they could make Josh McDaniels the assistant head coach. And then Belichick moves on and retires after he breaks Don Shula's record, and then Josh McDaniels is the head coach. Well, maybe that's not going to work out. Because this operation is starting to become ancient at this point. The Patriots, they won their last Super Bowl in the beginning of 2019. That was 5 years ago. I think, look, if they bring Bill back, I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be nostalgic. I'm gonna be excited. But we're gonna be sitting here a year from now, being like, all right, we knew this was gonna happen. Or we get rid of Bill and bring back Mike Vrabel, and he coaches the team. We go, oh, they're not any better. It's just the same issues with a new guy. Go find your next general manager. There are so many young, smart people out there that know how to manipulate the salary cap that Bill Belichick was 25 plus years ago. Remember, he was a salary cap manipulator. He knew how to be a good GM in the late 90s. That's why Robert Kraft brought him in. There's got to be someone out there. Go find your MIT student mopping the hallways and solving calculus equations in his spare time. Go find your next Theo Epstein, 29-year-old GM, or Brad Stevens. Go find the next person who's going to reinvigorate the Patriots organization of the future, because these half measures, I get it, I want it too, but there's no going back. A head coach, go find your Sean McVay. Go find someone that's going to modernize this Patriots organization. Is there nobody from the Kyle Shanahan tree we can pluck? There's got to be someone, right? I mean, there's Mike McDaniel, there's Sean McVay. Like, teams have figured out, like, there's a lot of these great minds around the NFL. We can't find one of them to coach our team. This organization needs to be reinvigorated. And the offense certainly needs to be modernized. Look, here's an idea. This is call me crazy. This is an idea. Patriots have the number 3 overall pick right now. Why not give up next year's first rounder? Give up a little bit more if you have to. Give up a third rounder this year or something as well. Trade up to number 1 and take Caleb Williams. Just do it. Okay, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but you know what? It would be exciting, right? There would be hope for the fan base. We would see something a little bit different out there. And then go out and hire Eric Bieniemy. Remember what happened with Eric Bieniemy? I know he was the offensive coordinator for the Commanders, but it wasn't his fault the Commanders were bad this year. Those issues are much deeper, and they're mostly because of the defense, because they decided to tank well before the trade deadline. Eric Bieniemy, nothing says value like leaving an organization and suddenly your team is not as good as it once was. The Kansas City Chiefs offense, where Eric Bieniemy was as the offensive coordinator from 2018 until this past offseason, we saw what Kansas City did all those years. They are not the same since he left. Go bring in Eric Bieniemy and draft Caleb Williams. Take a shot in the dark, see what happens, and see what those two can cook up together. Because right now, we're just what are we going to do? We're going to sign Kirk Cousins? We're going to sign a boring, somewhat competent pocket passer in 2024 and just expect the Tom Brady days are going to come back because we have Josh McDaniels. And, maybe we can pair Josh McDaniels with Bill O'Brien, right? Well, that half measure of bringing Bill O'Brien back didn't work, right? We thought, it's going to be like Gronk and Aaron Hernandez again. If we bring in Bill O'Brien, it's going to be like 2010 again, right? Well, that didn't happen. This was the worst year I've seen as a Patriots fan. Look, it's hard. It's so hard. Look, the Patriots drafted Tom Brady when I was in the 2nd grade. And not only the Patriots, but the Red Sox, the Celtics, the Boston Bruins, they all went on a run for 20 plus years. I know the Celtics and Bruins are still good. But we can't keep resting on our laurels and cling to the past. It's not going to work. David Ortiz left many years ago. Tom Brady left 5 years ago now, or 4 years ago now. Bill Belichick's going to leave eventually. We have to reset. And it's going to be hard, and it might not work. But you know what's going to happen if you bring back Bill, and you bring back Josh, and you still have Bill O'Brien out there, you replace Bill O'Brien with Josh, and you have the defense out there, and Gerard Mayo's all pissed off, so he goes to another team. They're going to be at best a 500 team, probably. This is a real inflection point in the franchise, and Robert Kraft, I get it. He's getting up there in age, and he wants to rest on his laurels and figure out what's worked in the past and bring it back. But there's no bringing it back, guys. It's just not going to happen. So that's just my idea. You trade up, you take Caleb Williams, you bring in Eric Bieniemy and build the next Patrick Mahomes style offense, the next great modern NFL offense. And maybe you can keep Mayo, right? You can give him a little bit of a promotion, make him the formal defensive coordinator. Maybe you make him the assistant head coach, and then he'll stick around a little bit longer. And you're concerned about Eric Bieniemy being like, oh, he's an offensive mind. How can he be a head coach? You're concerned about losing the Patriot way. If you listen to people talk about Bieniemy, they say this guy really can crack the whip. Like, this is not like a soft head coach with Bill Belichick leaving. Like, this is a guy who's gonna demand a lot from his players and keep the Patriot way while also modernizing the offense, particularly with a guy like Caleb Williams. You gotta give it a shot. Because Tom Brady is not walking through that door. Well, I'll be around all week, and we'll see what happens. Will the Patriots keep Bill Belichick? Will they bring back Josh McDaniels? Or will they ultimately move on and do a hard reset? Or are they going to bring in Vrabel or someone and try to cling to the past with someone new? I liked the idea last night going to bed because I was feeling all nostalgic, but I woke up this morning and realized sometimes in life, you got to make the hard decisions and move on. Be sure to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Going to be interesting to see how this plays out in the coming days, the coming weeks, the coming months. We'll be here at Pat's Cast to cover it. Here's looking at you, Bill.